This time on Snowmobiler Television, we're here in Fort McMurray, Alberta on a 4-day tour of the town and trails. Now, it's been a long time since I've been on this type of snowmobile adventure, so I'm really looking forward to the next few days. And it all starts right now on Snowmobiler Television.
STV is brought to you by Yamaha, revs your heart. Polaris, think outside. Ford F-Series, Canada's best-selling line of pickup trucks for 56 years. Tough, smart, capable.
It's our first full day here in Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo. It's an absolutely gorgeous Alberta winter morning. The only thing is it's about, I don't know, minus a million. Anyways, we're going to be heading to pick up our rental rocket shortly, but before we do that, we're going to catch up with Tyler Cole, one of the fellows that helped pull this trip together for us here in Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo, a town I've heard a lot about over the years but have never actually been to. We're actually going to rescue Tyler right now. It was minus 36 overnight and this morning, so his truck actually wouldn't fire up. So this rental Ford did, so we're gonna go and rescue him with a pair of booster cables. And we're about 600 meters away right now, and we'll see if we can get him going. And then we're gonna go into town. It is crispy critters here, let me tell you. If you come to Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo, bring your woolies. There's Tyler. Hey, buddy.
Oh, it's my lifesaver.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing, fellas?
Not too bad. You're on camera right now.
So the pro tip to pass along if you are going to come to Fort McMurray Buffalo is plug in your truck. Locals should know this. I apparently didn't, because you can't go snowmobiling if your truck doesn't start.
You know what? I mean, I've never been to Fort McMurray before,
Yes.
so thank you very much for inviting us up here.
Yes, of course.
So
Yeah.
today we're going to spend the day kind of touring around town,
Yes.
learning about Fort McMurray and checking stuff out. At least touring around town once we get the trucks going.
Yes.
But I mean, tell me a little bit about what I'm going to see today.
Yeah, so you're going to see lots of beautiful sunshine, big, beautiful Alberta skies. That was one thing you're going to see.
Yeah.
The other thing you're going to see a lot of today is a lot of folks don't know this about our community, but we're a city of rivers. There's 4 major rivers that meet in and around Fort McMurray. The Athabasca being the biggest one, and a lot of the rivers meet right in the downtown area of town. So you'll see lots of great places where the rivers meet, and lots of folks also get out on the rivers on their snow machines. Yeah.
Oh, looking forward to it. I mean, coming in last night, I was surprised, like with the drive from the airport to the hotel. Actually, it's a big town. There's 80,000 people who live
give
here.
or take. It's a bit of a complicated calculation. About 75,000, 80,000 people live right in the city of Fort McMurray.
This is a serious town.
Absolutely. I think it's one of the places, I mean, we all live here, so we know what it's like to live here and work here and play here, but we really believe it's one of those places you don't really know what it's like until you come and experience it for yourself. So we're super glad you guys can come and give us a visit.
Exactly, and well, we've had a minute or so to maybe get some electricity juice to go from my truck to yours.
Let's crank it.
Let's crank it, and then we'll head into town.
Alrighty.
Here we go. Let's see if it happens. It's a little bit better, not much though. It is not a happy camper.
No, it's not. Yeah, I know, right?
It's never easy.
Yeah, right?
It's never easy. How's my beardsicle going?
Me as well, I suspect. Yeah.
All right, give him a crank, Tyler. Oh,
Hey!
After saving the day with a boost, we headed into town. So when they talk about the sound up, I mean, downtown is just right over there. and all of these hills, that was all on fire. The guys were telling me, like, when they were getting out of town here, like, this was all on fire, serious fire, and they had to drive out when the evacuation notice came in. And like, that side of the road is on fire, that side of the road is in town. It's crazy. There's 5 river systems that flow in and around the Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo region, and a good portion of the town is located in the rolling river valleys. Tyler took us to a municipal park where you can look over just a portion of the river systems that help define the town and the lifestyle here. So, Tyler, downtown's behind us.
Yes.
And this is the river system that you're talking about?
Yeah, so this river here is the Clearwater River, which runs from Saskatchewan into Alberta and dumps into the Athabasca just over there.
Yeah.
And this is called Sny Point Park. This actually here is a float plane base in the summertime. It's a popular place for festivals and events and all year round.
Yeah, community feel to it. I mean, just like a gathering place, right?
Absolutely, it's been a gathering place for centuries of the indigenous people of this region who've come and trapped and fished and hunted right along these waters for centuries. So yeah, it's a great place in our community. It's a favorite of mine to come down and hang out and enjoy the beautiful scenery.
Yeah, no, it's nice down here. And that side there, that was at one time fire, right?
Yes, that's right. As you can see, it's a lot of burnt out trees on that side. There's a couple of trappers' cabins and people have trap lines and things over on that side of the river as well. You can see there's a crossing just down across the river there for snowmobiles, trucks, things like that.
Nice. For me, it's always interesting to visit new towns and cities that aren't normally on the hot, touristy places to go list. Getting a chance to tour around a bit with Tyler, I've realized that the Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo region is much larger than I thought it was, both in population and the types of services that are here, but also the physical size of the town. Our next stop was the Sno-Drifter's Groomer Garage to have a look at one of the places we'd be riding from, but also continue our talk in a warm area, because it's still about -1 million, even with the sun out. You had a really interesting stat that I wanted to talk to you more about. And you said the average age of the residents of Fort McMurray here is 33 years old.
Yeah, that's right. People would be surprised to know that in our region, it's a very, very young population. Not just in the city of Fort McMurray, across the entire region. The average age is about 33 years old, and I think that's a lot of because lots of young people who are just graduating from college or university or looking to start out in the workforce often come up here to pursue different opportunities, and it results in a really low average age of 33. We like to think about it, it's a place of opportunity. And I think whether you want to start a business or you want to come work for somebody else or you want to move your family here, there's so much more here than people often think. And we always like to say that unless you've kind of been here and experienced it for yourself, you really don't know what it's like here. It really fosters this amazing, community spirit, this volunteer spirit that it makes it a great place to live and a great place to
raise a family,
pursue opportunities. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see that this is a town where people have almost the philosophy is like you work hard and you play hard.
Sure.
And I mean, we've come here to go snowmobiling, and I'm looking forward to experiencing the trails. But there's a lot of recreation, outdoor recreation.
Absolutely.
I mean, for the sportsmen and women that enjoy being outdoors and are tough enough to handle -36 degree temperatures. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do here outdoors. Tyler had one more site for us to look at just outside of town in the heart of the Athabasca oil sands, where Syncrude had some decommissioned giants of mining equipment accessible by the highway. I was unprepared for the colossalness of what we were about to see. Coming here to Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo region and not taking the time out to go and visit sites like this, I mean, the absolute scale of all of this going on is amazing. And I mean, this equipment, this is old equipment, decommissioned. They're not using it anymore. But I mean, to see the size and scale of it, it is simply staggering. It's unbelievable. So this Discovery dragline, I mean, this is one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time. You see it on TV, but to be here in person, crazy. Now, this would walk along. I mean, it would have these feet that would go over and lumber along, like 2.5 meters every time it would do that process. Could you imagine something this big doing that? I mean, incredible. It looks like something out of Star Wars or something like that. Wild. So cool. Okay, so if you're wondering how cold it is, and it's -31, and they keep talking about, in the West it's dry cold, well, it's still pretty darn cold. We've been outside for about 10 minutes now, and this is happening. If we're outside for another 10 minutes, I don't think I'm gonna be able to open my mouth anymore, let alone having my lips work because they're starting to freeze up. Whew, it is chilly. So cool though.
Having the opportunity to get up close and personal to such equipment always impresses me. But the guys said if we wanted to see something really cool that we should come back at night. So that's exactly what we did.
Now that is something you don't see every day. That right there, that's dinosaur juice coming out of the ground. Absolutely incredible. The size is crazy. And if you look over here, there's the bucket wheel that's kind of all backlit. I mean, it looks like the aliens have landed and there's some sort of a buzzsaw attachment that's gonna cut the earth in two. It's just, in the day it's impressive, but at night it's cool. It's also minus 33, so it's really cool.
This segment is brought to you by Wiseco Pistons.
For most people coming here to the Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo region, they're probably going to be driving from places like Edmonton, which is 5 hours away, or Calgary, Saskatoon, which is roughly about 8. For us being a little farther away, having to fly here and unable to pack snowmobiles onto the plane, we had to come to Pioneer to get these bad boys. So you want to know how cold it is here? Our door latch froze. We have to unthaw that thing to see if it closes. You think you got it? Think we got it working? Give it a try. No, not yet.
Pioneer Rentals hooked us up with these beauties, a pair of 500 fan Skidoo Tundras. Normally servicing the oil patch, Pioneer specializes in heavier duty equipment, making these tough Tundras a perfect fit for their customers. Now, Tundras wouldn't be my first choice when it comes to a trail sled, but up here, I think it's pretty appropriate. We're so far north, we're actually not that far from the Tundra. Now, basically, I'm really just looking forward to holding on to handlebars, and thankfully, these sleds have heated ones, which is one of the most important accessories you can have on a minus 33 ride day.
Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it.
So Terry, we're about to go out and ride some trails, and things look pretty good. I mean, talk to me about what the type of trails that we're going to be seeing today, or what somebody coming to the area is going to see.
So we got a vast array of out here in Fort McMurray. We got 300 and about 300 to 350 kilometer groomed trails, depending where you're sitting at. We got 2 separate riding areas. We got one vast riding area where you ride right from Fort McMurray where we're staged, and you can ride 250 kilometers out to Stony Mountain and Anzac. And it's a nice little trail ride. You got a little bit of hills, you got some twisty turns, and then you go north of town, we have our Thickwood Trail that goes, and same thing, it's through the bush, it's up and down, it's on the trail, it's really windy. It's very, very adventurous. But to me, if I was coming to Fort McMurray, I would stay at my hotel just down the street. I would come to the airport staging area here. And if you're out for the day, it's a full day ride. So you go out, and you leave here, you're 2 hours into Anzac on the trails, and you have a bite to eat, fill up with gas, and you hit the trail again. And you go out to Stony Mountain, do the loop out there, and you come back, you warm up, and you head back into town. It's a full day. So I prefer the longer ride versus the short one. But family oriented wise, most families that are local will ride from Stony Mountain staging area, and they'll go out and they'll gather in the fire pits like we're here. And there's no word of lie, like 20, 30 people. There's sometimes you can't even get a seat as a single rider, or you and your buddy are coming up there and you want to cook a hot dog. Because there's just a big swarm of families just gathered.
And I mean, we're in front of like what your typical fire pit would be out there. And I mean, you have a number of these warm-up shelters around and fire pits where people can enjoy some time and get warmed up again.
Yeah, we have 8 in the area. So we got 2 on each loop. So we got all around. So we got the Anzac, Stony, Connector, and Thickwood Trail. So all got 2 warm-up shelters, all spaced apart north and south of either trailhead. We always have snow. We might be a little bit colder Well, we got snow.
And I mean, here, the town is friendly. It's open arms to people coming in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to come up here and have a long weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
This segment is brought to you by Ford.
After getting the chance to ride some of the trails here in the Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo region, they have the feel of the remote systems in places like Labrador, but there's also a lot of trails that feel like back at home in Ontario too. But just like all other snowmobile regions, there's a core group of volunteers that make it all happen. The passion for snowmobiling here in Fort McMurray runs deep, and we had the chance to connect with one of the original members of the Sno-Drifters. Elburn is over 90 years old and still helping out where he can.
Back in the day in Fort McMurray, we didn't have any trails. The biggest thing we had was the old rail bed coming out of town out to Sapling. And that wasn't nothing done with it. There was no signage, no nothing. And a few people got hurt because in the deep ravines, they'd come over the top going too fast and end up by landing way down the hill. So I started to put up signs on that then and stuff like that. I made my own signs because I had a sign shop. Put up the signs and stuff. And then we just gravitated to the Anzac Trail. And I can remember when we first there, we used to drag that trail with a quad out to Anzac and back with a flat drag behind it. Very few people involved in the club at the time. You know, it was just 3 or 4 of us doing, finding trails and marking them with something. I had a sign shop so I could make signs and stuff like that. And I guess I spent more time on the trail than I did working. But anyway, I enjoyed it, every bit of it. I'm on my 90th year. I'll be 90 in July. So as much as I want to, I decide, well, you know, maybe I'd better just slack off a bit. But no, I hope it thrives, and I hope it even gets better.
Albert knows, and he had some words of advice that can be taken across the whole snowmobile community when it comes to the hard work, dedication, and the future of snowmobile clubs everywhere.
Like I say, things are moving faster all the time, and I would say for them to slow down, and if they're going to have a club and they're going to have all these goodies, somebody's got to do it, and if they don't do it, then it'll be the end of the thing eventually. You know, it may not stop all of a sudden, but it'll gradually tail off, and it takes somebody with an interest in it to keep it going. And if your interest is just to ride and not to do anything to maintain and better the thing, then we're in trouble. It's comradeship and working with or playing really with other people, you know, because it's not a job. It's something that you volunteer and you get involved because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. And that's the way it's been for me anyway. And I still enjoy it today, although I can't do what I used to.
This segment is brought to you by iGrip Studs.
So over the last couple of days, I've had a really chilly but cool time here in Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo, and it's actually been kind of so cold we've decided to come inside into the groomer garage to have a chat with some of the folks that really helped pull this trip together for myself and Snowmobiler Television. So first, guys, I want to say thank you very much for giving me the privilege to come up here and experience Fort McMurray. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Now,
Thanks for coming, yeah.
We have had a couple, you know, a fun couple of days here, but it is cold. Like, is it always like this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Always.
a couple of weeks of winter, it gets crazy, crazy cold like this.
Usually not this long, though. Usually we're 1 week at Christmas time, and then 1 week into January, and then it teeters off.
Yeah. Now sledding, I mean, for us lightweight Ontarians to come out here and deal with minus 35, I mean, it's a little chilly. We're not too bad, but we did have to call Uncle. We wanted to do this outside in a fire pit, but Well, I'm gonna say it was. I'm blaming it on the batteries. That the batteries had to come inside. But the cold here is no joke. I mean, seriously, it is super cold, and you do have to be prepared for it. But what's life like here in the summertime? Is it? I mean, obviously not this cold, but is it cold here in the summer? Like what's that like?
No, it's great here in the summertime.
I love it. It's daylight. Daylight from 4 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, because right now we're dealing with daylight from about 9 to 4.
Yeah.
The temperature is actually reciprocated. You know, we have minus 36 today. In the summertime, you could expect to see plus 30. And we might even get higher than that. So we have hot summers, long summer days. It's a beautiful country up here. Lots of ATVing, lots of opportunity for hunting and fishing, and you know, all sorts of outdoor activities.
Yeah, lots of great golf and camping and things like that as well here in the summertime. Lots of sunshine as well, so it's a great place to be all year round.
And that was amazing to me to come in and just be part of the community and kind of talking to you folks and seeing how much of that community spirit is there and all the things that are here to do. I mean, I was pretty blown away by that. Fort McMurray is a lot more than I thought it was coming from the east. You know, kind of thinking about the energy sector and you know the wildfires and floods. I mean, that's kind of what I know from Fort McMurray, being from Ontario. It is much more than that, and an absolute pleasure to be able to come here and experience it.
One of the great things about being the host of a snowmobiling television show is that it gets me to so many interesting places to go ride in and meet new friends. And this trip to Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo is just another one of the epic locations that snowmobiling has brought me to. So I want to say thank you to everyone who made this trip happen, because it was truly a memorable one. Now, if you liked this adventure, make sure you keep coming back to Snowmobiler Television.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Advanced Control Systems. STV has been brought to you by CKX, Wear Your Passion. Schaefer's, specialized lubricants since 1839. Best Western Hotels and Resorts, ready to get away?